What's going on YouTube? Mixture Man here. So right now I'm going to be telling you my thoughts, review, everything about The Batman. Saw it last night. Really enjoyed the movie. Before I continue, this will be a non-spoiler and spoiler review. I'll warn you in case when I'm about to start talking spoilers, so in case you don't want to be spoiled or anything, you can stop watching if you want to, whatever. So right now, non-spoiler talk. This was a really good movie. It did not feel long. It did not feel short. Matt Reeves, you did a really great job in this movie if you're watching this video. I think everybody did a great job in this movie that were involved. The actors, the actresses, the producers, everyone, all of them. They did a really good job. I'm not going to lie. It's not my favorite Batman movie. The Dark Knight is still my favorite. But you can argue that this is just as good, if not better, than The Dark Knight, because some people are saying it's better than The Dark Knight, and I can see why. I still think The Dark Knight's I still think The Dark Knight is better. It's my favorite. It probably mainly because it's The Dark Knight we're freaking talking about, and Heath Ledger's Joker is my favorite Joker. When it comes to Batman, Robert Pattinson I think did a great Batman. I gotta see more Bruce Wayne if I'm being honest. As much as we saw Bruce Wayne, I still need to see a little bit more. I mean, a sequel has already been confirmed to be in the works, so I'm sure we'll see plenty of Bruce Wayne in the sequel, maybe, because we saw enough Batman in this movie. Maybe we could see now enough Bruce Wayne in the sequel. Zoe Kravitz, you did a freaking phenomenal job as Selina Kyle / Catwoman. Jeffrey Wright, you were a tremendous James Gordon. I think he's my favorite James Gordon now. Paul Dano was a great Riddler. I didn't even know John Turturro was in this movie. I became a fan of his because of the Transformers movies. He's great. He's very well known for the Transformers movies, and I thought he did a great job in this movie as well. Andy Serkis, he was an okay Alfred. I mean, I gotta see more if I want to say he did a really good job, but he did a pretty good job. And Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Oh man, I hope we see more of him. He was probably my favorite, like when it comes to these characters out of all, and besides Batman and James Gordon, and Catwoman, of course. That he'll be. There is a Batman like spin-off series for the GCPD in the works. I forgot what the exact name of it is, and I even think that there's a Penguin spin-off series in the works. I can't wait to watch both of them with Jeffrey Wright's James Gordon as well as Colin Farrell's Penguin. They both were just great in this movie, and I can't wait to see more of them in the sequel and the spin-off series, all of it. When it comes to Batman, where I would rank Batman for Robert Pattinson's Batman for me, I still like Ben Affleck's Batman more. Robert Pattinson's Batman, I would say, is right there for Christian Bale. Christian Bale is my second favorite, and I would kind of argue with myself and debate with other people that he's just as good, maybe even better than Christian Bale. Like I said, Dark Knight is my favorite Batman movie. Michael Keaton, I liked him a lot. Adam West, he was really cool and funny. And like I said, this movie was just it was a really good movie. Like, I would say, how do I say this? Even though I say The Dark Knight is better to me still, and you can argue that this one is better, I like it just as much as The Dark Knight Rises. I'm one of the very few people that actually really, really, really liked The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, yeah, of course, The Dark Knight is my favorite, but a lot of people really hate on the Dark Knight Rises that I remember seeing at the time the movie came out. It's better than the Batman Begins movie. It's better than the original Batman, in my opinion, this new Batman movie. What else? When I would give this movie a rating, like, I gave The Dark Knight a 9.5 out of 10, I believe, at the time. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. Like, this movie was that good. Like, I'm looking forward to watching it again. If you like mystery films, you'll like this. If you like Batman, you'll like this. There are plenty of Batman moments. There are plenty of great money shots. There are just plenty of like action. I mean, it's not an action movie. It's not an action movie, which that was fine with me. But there are plenty of action moments where that it makes it enjoyable and really fun. And there are just moments where you're like, oh, I'm not gonna lie. A couple moments I felt a little bored while I was just watching. But I'm like, okay, I get a little bored. But like once I thought of it, like okay, I get a little bored. Like ooh, like right away I got interested back in because like only like 2 or 3 times it happened. It wasn't like it lasted more than a minute. It at a couple points I started to think to myself, it's starting to get a little boring. And then boom, it starts getting interesting again. I'm like, okay, good, because I hate when that happens. But it was enjoyable from beginning to end. The beginning is probably my favorite, honestly. The way they started, if you know, you know. And there are very familiar faces in this movie. There are familiar references, and there's good. This movie potentially just made a whole new Batman type trilogy. I like that they brought in a young actor because Robert Pattinson's young. I think he's only 29 maybe. I gotta see when he was born in 1986. I'm not good at that freaking type of math. I'm not good at that math. Hold on, I hate trying to do math like that in my head. I'm terrible at math if I'm being honest, even for something as simple as what's 2022 minus 1986. He's 36 actually. He's young. He's younger than he looks. He's actually not 36. He's 35. He'll be 36 this May. But still, like I think he's someone that will stay playing the Batman for a long time. Like probably longer than Christian Bale. I mean, as much as I still like Ben Affleck's Batman, I'm looking forward to watching more Robert Pattinson's Batman. For all we know, we might see him in the Flash movie this year, considering the Flash movie is a multiverse movie. Anyways, again, 9 out of 10 is my rating for this movie. I'm going to start talking spoilers, so if you have not seen the movie, stop watching now. So, again, spoiler talk. You've been warned. I'm getting into spoilers, so like I said, stop watching if you don't want to be spoiled. One of my favorite moments in the beginning is when like the bat signal came on and they start saying like how he was feared, and then people are looking in the shadows and they're legit scared to go in the shadows because they know that he exists. And I love the beginning where he beats the crap out of that first thug. Some theories are suggesting that those are Joker's thugs, because after all, in the end, there's an Arkham prisoner in there that we don't know who it is. Part of me thought that was Two-Face, but and a lot of theories going around it's Joker, which I could see what it is. Matt Reeves himself kind of said, he didn't say it officially, but you can tell that he's trying to avoid saying, yeah, that was the Joker. So I think that might have been the Joker, which is fine. I don't mind it being the Joker. At first I thought it was Two-Face, just by the look of it. I think because I saw at one point there was like a smile right here, similar to what Two-Face looked like in The Dark Knight. You can see like the jaw, like the jaw. That's what made me think, wait, is that Two-Face? But then when I saw that interview with Matt Reeves, which was very recent, where he's basically saying that was actually the Joker, I was like, okay, that's fine. It seems like it could be a good Joker, whoever was playing him. I forgot who said he was playing him. Hold on, let me go back because it actually says it right here somewhere. Oh, I forgot his name. Barry Keoghan. I'm not great at pronouncing names, if I'm being honest. I've said that multiple times in my past videos. I think he could be a good Joker. He's another young actor that can probably play the Joker for a long time, if that's who he's officially playing. And I'm hoping that, and there's also a theory going around that the kid in the beginning of the movie, the one that had like the black kid that had like half that face paint on him and then half of not face paint. Some people think that that's I forgot his name. Is it Jason Todd that's fur under the Red Hood? I think it's Jason Todd. It was a Dick Grayson. Hold on, I want to make sure I get this correct. I'm gonna look it up. Who is Red Hood? I think it's either Dick Grayson or Um, hold on. Shoot. I hate when it sometimes doesn't give you a direct answer. Under the Red Hood storyline, I know it was one of the Robins. I can't remember if it was Dick Grayson or Jason Todd or Tim Drake. I know it was not Damian Wayne. I'm not gonna worry about it. Some people think that that was one of the Robins that could potentially be the one that goes to become Under the Red Hood, and some people think that the third movie or maybe even the sequel, but I think it will be like down further along the line because he has to train him. Obviously, Batman. That we could get a live action Under the Red Hood movie, and I'm all for that. Under the Red Hood was one of my favorite Batman storylines, and I would love to see a live action version of that story because I think that would be freaking awesome. And one of my favorite memorable moments was when Colin Farrell's Penguin he was like tied up after he got caught by Batman in that little car chase, which was freaking awesome, by the way. I love the part, even though it happens in a trailer where Penguin goes, "Ha ha, I got you," and then Batman and his Batmobile comes out of the flames and then crashes him. Even though you know it's coming because it was in a trailer, seeing it in the movies, in the actual movie, was just still awesome. It's just like, it was so badass, especially when Batman's walking towards Penguin while he's upside down in his car. It's like, money shot, and then there was another money shot there, money shot here. It's like a lot of money shots in this movie, and I can't wait. But what I was saying was really funny, memorable moment to me was when Penguin was tied up in his hands and his feet, was when he starts waddling around, and they left him there tied up, and he starts waddling around like a penguin. I'm like, that's funny, because I thought that was good. I also like the first scene where he starts his flight after he punches James Gordon and starts running down the hallway. That was actually pretty funny to me. Probably because, like, even though we see a lot in both like the comics, the movies, animated shows, whatever, all of it, when Batman's there and the next thing you know he's gone. It's like yeah, how fast does he go? And then he's like, he does it actually once in this movie, which I think was cool. Which is fine too. It's always badass whenever Batman does that. And I thought for sure when he does that one time when he realizes that Alfred or whatever was his next victim, I thought Alfred died for a second in that explosion. I'm like, no way, they're gonna kill off Alfred now. But then when he was in the hospital and they were able to save him, I guess you would say, I was like, oh, thank God, because at first I was like, I thought they actually killed him. My genuine actual reaction was the whole time when I saw the explosion until the part where you realize that he's actually not dead. Selena Kyle was Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle. She was great, like I said before early in the video. She is gorgeous. I mean, I already knew that from before the movie even was filming. If I'm being honest, I didn't know what to expect from any of the cast members of this movie. Each cast member for each role, I didn't know what to expect. Like, I was just like, let's just see until I see the movie to get my true thoughts. Because when Robert Pattinson was cast, I'm like, interesting. Same thing with Zoe Kravitz, Jeffrey Wright, Colin Farrell, Andy Serkis, all of them. I was just like, because I didn't want to say like, oh, it's a perfect casting. Oh no, it's a terrible casting. Because I really like to. I mean, as much as I like to say, like, oh my god, that's a really great casting, whenever certain actors or actresses get casted for a certain role, I always like to actually take a little bit of grain of salt and wait until I see the movie or series or whatever. Like, I'm not going to deny, back when I found out the news of Ben Affleck being casted as Batman, I was younger at the time and I didn't think much better. I thought it was a terrible casting, and I thought he was going to be a bad Batman. After I saw freaking Batman v Superman, right away he became my favorite Batman, especially that warehouse scene. If you know, you know. Like, to me, he's the best version of both Batman and Bruce Wayne. And it sucks that we're not going to see him again besides in the Flash movie. It would be cool to see Robert Pattinson's Batman in The Flash. You never know; he may or may not show up. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I hope we do see more of Zoe Kravitz's Selena Kyle slash Catwoman in the Batman sequel, because after all, they do go their separate ways, Batman and Selena Kyle. It was crazy seeing that scene where the flooding was happening. What else is there? Oh yeah, there were plenty of like not forced funny moments in this movie. Because that's what I like about Matt Reeves. He doesn't force anything. He didn't for no, he doesn't force anything. He didn't force anything to be funny in this movie. Because that's what MCU does a lot. They kind of force it to be funny at times. It's like, okay, it's like, do you really needed that joke? Because like in the part in the beginning actually where Batman was at the part where Riddler's first victim was tied with the where he had tape all over his face, and one of the cops was like, "Excuse me," and that was funny, even though it wasn't intended to be funny. To me, it was funny. Even a lot of the people in my theater were laughing at it. A lot of people I've noticed were saying like there are not a lot of Batman moments in there. It's like, do you know Batman? Like, there were plenty of Batman moments in this movie. There were plenty of detective type moments in this movie. I'm thinking to myself, when people are saying like there was no detective scenes like that, I'm like, did you watch the movie? It's like, do you know Batman? Besides, after all, it's only year 2 of Batman. He's only been Batman in 2 years in the movie. They said, like, when he's writing his notes and you see year 2, it was like, okay, so it confirms that he's only been Batman for 2 years. I found it interesting that his father was like how a lot of other political parties are, hush money, like Stephen Ross. It was cool. It was interesting to find out that Selena Kyle and Falcone were related. I didn't know that actually from the comics. 'Cause, I mean, as much as I know about a lot of DC characters, especially Batman, because Batman is my favorite DC character, I didn't know that about Selena Kyle and Carmine Falcone. Is it like that in the comics? Please tell me if it is. Oh yeah, and I read right before I went into the theater. I did read that the reason why the Batman was as long as it is. I mean, to me, it wasn't long or it wasn't short either. I think it was a good timing. That they had a shorter version that when they played for a test audience, that it was not as good, and that's why it was longer. And in a way, this is Matt Reeves' vision. Warner Brothers, I read, did not interfere much, if at all. Not that I saw or anything. And that's the thing too. These movies, like Matt Reeves' The Batman, Zack Snyder's Justice League, when Warner Brothers allowed him to release his version of what he wanted it to be. And not only that, I think even Warner Brothers did not interfere at all with James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. When you have these movies, when Warner Brothers, you need to keep in mind if you're watching this, when you're not interfering with the directors and you let them make what they want to make, look at the result. A lot of people are loving the Zack Snyder's Justice League, saying hashtag restore the Snyderverse, which I agree. They should restore the Snyderverse. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. As much as I did not enjoy my first viewing, after watching the Peacemaker series and then watching the movie again, I was like, I like this movie a lot more now. And then after watching this, it's like, what was Warner Brothers' deal in interfering and saying like, no, you should be like this? Because they did it with the Justice League. They did it with the first Suicide Squad. By the way, hashtag release the Ayer cut. They also did it with, I think, even Man of Steel and even Batman v Superman. It's like, what made you think that that's what you should do? I mean, MCU doesn't do it, and look at all their movies. They're freaking tremendous. It's like most of their movies and series and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, they may interfere here and there, and as well as Kevin Feige, but 99 times out of 100, it's like they don't do it. It's like look at the MCU compared to the DCEU. And obviously we know. Anyways, that's all I got really to say about my spoiler review for The Batman. I can't really think of anything else. Like I said, the movie didn't feel long. The movie didn't feel short. It was a perfect pacing. Loved the movie. Looking forward to watching it again eventually in theaters. I'm probably gonna, because last night I saw it with a couple work friends. I'm probably gonna go see it again with my dad because my dad wants to see it. Anyways, I think Paul Dano did a great job as the Riddler. I hope we do see him again in the future Batman project, whether it's Batman 2 and or 3. But anyways, in the sequel, what I want to see in the sequel is some we haven't seen in live action yet. As much as I really like the Joker, he's my favorite villain. Out of every villain there has ever been between Marvel, DC, and everything else, I want to see something different. Robert Pattinson himself said he wants to see maybe the Court of Owls in the sequel, which I think that would be awesome. Some people think Hush might be in the next movie. I think that would be cool too, because that's a way to bring in more Bruce Wayne. Honestly, even I forgot his real name. The guy the Matt Ramos, is that his name? I think Soups. I remember watching one of his videos TikTok actually earlier today. He said that, which I forgot about actually, that the guy that plays Hush, Elliot, I think was his last name, because the reporter in this movie that Thomas Wayne wanted to be quiet, and then Falcone killed him supposedly. His last name was Elliot, and some people and Ramos, and I'm sure as well as a lot of other fans, are theorizing maybe that could be Hush in the next movie, considering, or maybe his son, that reporter's son, could be Hush in the next movie. I think that would be really cool. Just looking forward to the Batman sequel. It is officially in development after all. It was announced a couple weeks ago. And anyways, again, my rating for this movie is 9 out of 10. If y'all could please do me a favor, please give this video a like and or subscribe to my channel, and I would really appreciate that. And before I continue, and if you see me doing this in the thumbnail, it's a way to get people to watch my video. It's just a thumbnail because I don't want to, because a lot of people are praising this movie and going after people that actually hated it or disliked it or whatever. So I'm just going to do this in my thumbnail to make people think that I didn't like it or anything like that. So sorry about that, to get you to watch my video. And if you watch this video, I really appreciate that, especially considering it's at 22 minutes right now. So anyways, like I said, rating 9 out of 10. Like, subscribe, everything, blah, blah, blah. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good night, good day, whatever.